I've always wanted to do triathlon, and the one that I did back in 2017, I just got out there, did my own sort of running. Yep, I can run that distance. Oh, cool, I can ride that distance. And then realised when I got off my bike I couldn't run any distance because I just couldn't do it, and it disheartened me. There's a little bit of self-discovery of recent time because of my marriage separating, moving over to a new place to reconnect with my family here. And so it was a self-discovery journey first. And I saw the beginner's course and I thought, oh, that sounds great. And once I started the course, I realised that my desire to do an Ironman, the focus had changed. I wanted to just do it for the sake of saying I've done it. Now I want to do it because I lack belief in myself and that ability to do it. And so just trying to find myself again, really.
Well done, guys. Up nice and tall. So the reason we do the warm-up, the jog, some strides, and then some dynamic stretching is you've got to put them in the right state physically, but also mentally. They start to think about the session, what they want to achieve, the outcome for the session. You can't just sort of go into it, especially with age groupers. If they've had a hard day at work, you've got to give them a chance to sort of decompress, and the warm-up can be really good for that. So I like to just sort of get it in the right environment, do a warm-up, jog, strides, some dynamic stretches, and then we'll go into actually what they want to try and achieve out of the session. Okay, so before we start, I want to make sure we do our stairs, just the final part of the warm-up. So we'll head over the stairs and then we'll go on up to the road where we'll get into the nuts and bolts of the session. So this type of session is really good for improving speed and speed endurance and muscular endurance, which is important for triathlon. And then once I've done some short reps, we go onto the oval and we're teaching them to sort of run when they're tired. So triathlon running is fatigue-driven running. So they've got to be able to run at threshold or harder pace under fatigue. And that's why we're doing this type of session. Some short hills onto the track for some threshold stuff. Yeah. With John, he comes from a rugby league background, so he's done a lot of high intensity training, a lot of, short, fast, hard training as a footballer. So I'm starting to think that, he'll respond to sort of high intensity work, but he's had a lot of time away from training and sport, so you can't push him too hard, but certainly he does love the burn. So it'll be interesting to see how he sort of develops over the next few months, what sort of training he responds to, but I'm thinking he'll be a bit of an intensity responder. But, at this stage he's certainly starting from ground zero, so we do have to be careful in what we're doing with him at this stage. How you feel?
Naked.
Yeah?
Yeah. Where I am just trying to stay in where I am and not worrying about people around me.
Yep.
That's my biggest challenge.
Staying present?
Yeah, staying present and always worried about who's passing me, and that's always been my difficulty. It's just not being able to not worry about anyone else, because this is all about me training and doing all that stuff. So
the group is great because it gives you someone to to train with and to push, but you've got to do your thing.
Yeah.
All right.
So I feel good.
All right.
I feel good. Yeah, I like that feeling like I'm pushing myself.
Yeah.
And not feeling like I've got anything more to give. I'll get there and recovery, getting me ready again. Yeah. Feels good.
So you're going to do one more set?
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. When you're coaching age groupers in the pool, you don't want to give them too many longer reps over 100 or even 200 because most of them just can't hold their stroke rate and their speed, and then it's diminishing returns. So you're better off doing short 50s, short 100s at a high intensity and doing that frequently to build that sort of specific muscular endurance. Trying to keep things really short and quick and allow them to take as many effective strokes as possible.
I was brought up in a Rugby League background. It was all about who's the toughest, and as a kid you wouldn't cry because it's not tough. And there was a lot of violence around myself, but also a lot of other people in my generation. Violence and domestic violence was massive in our home. My parents, they loved us. They loved us a lot, and you knew that. But the violence was a way of life. It was a part of life. It was a proving who's the toughest, and all brought on by alcohol. When alcohol wasn't around, life was great. That sort of stuff has sort of crept up back on me a little bit lately. And I think that's been another driving force, that being able to deal with that, and triathlon helps me put that aside.
But you have so many days when you're feeling it.
So excited about the race tomorrow?
I'm excited because it wasn't long ago since I had my last one, and I think I'm preparing better in terms of, mentally I know what that feeling's going to be like. I'm learning to not worry about anyone else. I could feel Brooke on my heels yesterday, and I knew she was there, and Brooke said to me, I just didn't have the heart to pass you. And I said to her, do you know what, I'm actually beyond that now. Like I would have been okay with you passing me, whereas beforehand it would have destroyed me and I would have probably walked off. So I'm a people person. I've always been a people person. But since my own personal self-worth has been so low, I'd lost it. And again, talk about people, Kim, the day that when we jumped on the bikes, and she said, just those little things like the high fives and stuff like that. She said, that's pretty powerful for me that he's accepting me into his group type thing. And it's not that I'm accepting them, I'm accepting us all. We're a team here,
Playing football was always about a team. So you were a part of a team. You worked your butt off for the team. It wasn't, yes, it was about yourself as well and being the best player that you wanted to be, but ultimately, you were a part of a team, you were part of a jigsaw. Finishing this is all with the support, obviously, but support of coach, support of family, support of the people around you, but ultimately, I'm the one that has to do the work.
Like I say, first welcome to all the participants. Who's doing this for the first time today? Hands up.
You good to go? Yeah, really good.
I am a proud Maori man. I love my culture. I'd spent 14 years living in London. When I came home, the first thing I wanted to do is join our family kapahaka group because it was the easiest way to get back into my whānau and make a presence known. The problem was there was nothing easy about it. It was, the practicing, from early in the morning to late at night on weekends, and driving from Wellington to Te Awamutu for 7 hours most weekends just to train, practice for a competition. And I thought that would be a big part of my self-discovery, and it was. But again, it was about a group. Again, it was about reconnection, and it was great reconnecting. But I still hadn't found my thing that was making me tick, and the thing that was making me want to get out there and do something, for myself, not for anyone else. I did that to make my kids proud. I did that to make my mum and dad proud, and my nan, who was a big part of who I am growing up. She passed away way back, and she was a big part of my drive in terms of my culture and stuff. But I realised it was all for them, and it wasn't about me. Triathlon gives me something that's about me now, and that's really, I can still be cultural, I can still be a dad, I can still be a teacher, and all the stuff that I'm really proud of. But this is me. This is about me and me growing as a person. To get across the line at Ironman would mean the world to me, because partway through the beginner's course, I joined it because I was in a really dark place, and I picture it now with my daughters there, and I don't know how I'm going to hold that together, to be honest, because not too long ago I was ready to end it all because I didn't think I was worthy of anything, and it was a really tough time, and that would mean the world to me, because do you know what, my kids deserve their dad here. And even my partners, boys, I've got a good relationship with them. Just to picture that is just unfathomable at the moment. First goal was just get to the goal start line, and walking over the finish line, calling their name and saying, "You are an Ironman." That would mean the world.